We are back again and we are doing lesson 6. I'm with Sharon as my navigator and I'm the driver. So I'm just gonna quickly go and um, go through the summary just to see what was said on the summary before we can try to explain and run our course. I'm just gonna go. Okay, they said in this lesson you learned how to save individual files. First, you added the FS module to your application to look for HTML in your views folder. Then you extended the functionality to application asset. You also learned how to apply your routing system to its own module and selectively register rows from your main application file. In Unit 2, I talk about how you can use the application structure provided by Express.js um, in node.js framework. So let me see if there's a table that we need to go through that will guide us what is happening before we can try to explain our code. It looks like there's no table that we need to know of. So it means nothing has changed much from the previous lessons. So we have lesson 6. Under lesson 6 folder we have a folder called server HTML, which has the public, and the public inside has a subfolder with CSS, and it has a file called test.css, and then we have a folder called images, which has a picture, and then we have a folder called js, which has test.js, and then we have the views, which has the file called index.html, and then we have main.js, and then we have router, and then I'm just gonna go inside. I'm not gonna explain my css because it's just a picture, and the css and the json, this one I will try to explain it. It only has alert hello node.js. That's the only thing on the test.js. And then under the views we have main.js, and this one we are requesting our port to run on 3000, and then we are also requesting our http as our root, and then we are requesting our status code, and then here we are just notifying our browser that we want to choose a router. We are requesting a router, a specific router, and then a specific route in simple words, and then we are requiring of us, and then we have const plain text content type, and then the content type must be text or plain, or it must be also, it can be text or HTML, and then we have const custom read file, and then we have file, and then we have request, and then we have fs.read file, and then we have console.log error reading the file. If the file does not exist, the browser will show us the message. And then here it's a root, it's just a function for root. We're gonna say index and put whatever that we want to see. That's why here we are putting index.html on the views, so we can see what is on the index HTML, and then here router.post request, and then respond right head http status code, okay, plain text contact, respond, posted, and then this one handle all the requests. It's http create server. It's our server which will listen on port 3000 as most of the time. And then we have a router.js, and then in this one we have const http status. We're requiring our status code, and then here we are just notifying our computer to go to a specific route. That's why we said route, and then we want to get information, and then it must be text plain, and then it will say welcome to the info page, and then here we expose dot handle request and or send, and then these are the methods for the routes, and then we're gonna get no such file exist if indeed doesn't exist, or it's gonna say error. and then these are the action um, uh, after we run our terminal. um, and yeah, that's basically it. So I'm gonna um, run this. So this one I'm gonna run only one terminal. um, gonna run only one terminal. What main port 3000 is still running. I'm just gonna refresh. Okay, let me just um, run a new terminal. Maybe that one expired. Index, like we saw on the router.js, but we want to specify, we want to tell our HTTP to go a specific route. So we are letting it know that it must go and look for index.html. There it is, index.html, and the message is welcome. So if we were to look for the picture, we're gonna also say image.png, whatever the name of the picture is. Or we wanted to get our JS test JS, we were gonna do the same. We were the port always will run on 3000, but we're gonna notify it which route or which file should it go to. So here we told it it must go to index. If we wanted the picture, we're gonna tell it to go to CSS, and then or we were gonna tell it to go to test.js. And I don't know if Sharon has a question, but that was basically it for lesson 6.
No, I don't have a question. You explained perfectly.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.